And welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast, where we like to drink at Whack Donald's. If you guys see the cup right here, it's all backwards. The M is upside down, and we drink at Whack Donald's over here. Hey, guys, I got my people. I got my boy, Matty B from TBH, Western Colorado.
What's up, fam?
I got my boy, All In from TBH Dallas. What's good, fam?
What's good?
I got my girl Val from TBH Dallas. What's good, girl? Hey, guys. Today's topics are going to be real quick and simple, man. Hey, we got some free agents coming up on our team. I want to know the top 3 guys, or if there's any guys at all that you guys see that we got to get re-signed up. And the second part is going to be, hey, we are currently drafting at 13. We obviously know that we need to make a move to draft a quarterback. And in my humble opinion, we got to move up to the top 3. And if we really look at 1, 2, and 3, I think the weakest spot, and the spot that we actually have an opportunity to move up into, is that 3rd spot with New England, okay? So I want to know, hey, if you guys trade, what type of trade you guys are going to make? And what type of offer are you going to give New England in order to get that 3rd spot and who you're going to draft, all right? So, hey, let's start with the top 3 free agents on the Silver and Black roster that you want to see them bring back, or if there's any of them at all. Matty B, let's start with you, Big Fun. What's up, baby?
I do have 3 free agents I want to bring back, and my number 1 is Josh Jacobs. I'll bring him back. Get him paid. He deserves it. And he's a Raider, so pay him.
Okay.
Second on the list would be Amik Robertson. That dude balled out last year, and he pretty much, he excelled every year he's been in the league. So I think he deserves a contract with us. We're not gonna spend big on him, but he'll get a good hefty contract. So that's my second guy, and then my next one is kind of a toss up because there's kind of a bunch of them, but the defensive line, we need some help, and we got a bunch of them that are out right now, going to free agency. So, but I think Kawhi Nichols, and the reason I say that is because he's homegrown talent.
Yep.
So, I think we sign that guy and bring him back and put him back in that line because I think he's excelled every year too.
Okay. Yo, All In. Your top 3 guys.
Man, I think you got to go get Josh, right? What was AP's first thing he said when he took over? We're going to build this thing around Devontae and Josh. Don't work if you ain't got Josh.
Okay.
And then, like Matty B said, man, Amik is second on my list too. The third guy, man, I got a toss up between 2 guys. As far as the defensive tackles, I think Jenkins and Nichols, man, I think they'd be good guys to bring back. However, I think we're either going to address that in free agency with a big name guy. We got some young guys like Young and Silvera, and we still got Tillery. But I would like to bring back the safety Polamalu, and I think DeAndre Carter, man. I think both those guys need to come back. I think DeAndre Carter should have had a little bit bigger role in the offense last year. But my 1 and 2 for sure is Josh and Amik. And then I bring the safety back, keep that depth, and Paul Mal. I like that kid.
I like that move. I like that.
Val, who is your Raider that you're bringing back right now?
Not JJ.
Not JJ. Anybody?
Why are you such a JJ hater?
I'm not a JJ hater. It's just to me.
No.
I don't know.
Let's hear it. You feel some type of way? Let's hear it.
No, I'm just saying, like, he obviously feels certain types of way because he could play. He has potential, but he's not. So it kind of makes you think, like, does he even here? And then like I get it, like it's business and stuff, right? But at the same time, like you kind of just left your teammates out there, you know?
But he got injured, Val.
Huh? Before then,
He he
even
was he was number 3 in rushing
And you talking
when
about
he
the
got
whole
hurt.
when he didn't go to
she's
the
talking
top,
about
yeah, like little dilemmas, you know, and I don't know.
But like, and I agree with you, Val, about the whole holdout thing. But when you're the top rusher in the league and you do what he did in your contract year, that's anybody is gonna ask for that, and everybody will hold out. You know what I mean?
And running back's got a short shelf
He's not
life.
the only one that's ever done it, and he ain't gonna be the last one to ever do it either.
Oh, sure, but I
no,
don't know.
absolutely. But again, it comes back to saying, hey, she feels like, hey, you know what? If you already like don't want to be here, you already have a door out, or you're either all the way in or you're all the way out,
Right.
right, Val? Kind of thing. We're like, are either riding or we're like not riding at all, right?
Yeah,
So, I get that, and that's okay.
my opinion.
No,
Yeah,
Val,
no,
And what
I
about
got
the
it.
flip
Yeah,
side? So let me ask you this, Val. So what part of that is on the Raiders too?
Huh?
What part of that is on the Raiders too for not making it right and fucking paying Josh after leading the league in rushing last season?
Was that part of McDaniels and
It
Mark?
don't matter who it was,
Well, I get it.
right?
Let's start from the
Right?
top. I get
yeah,
it.
Right, but you're gonna hold Jacobs to this standard. Now you got to hold the organization to the same one, right? Because it takes two to tango,
You know,
right? So it's the organization and it's Josh.
and you're
yeah,
right.
I mean,
It's a two-way street.
Mark wants to keep guys, and he needs to get his act right, and he needs to make it right.
So here's the thing. Okay, you said make it right. Okay, in your
So
opinion, what makes it right? What do you think if he comes back at a discount, that makes it right? Do you think, or are you just saying, hey, if he's gonna act for top quality money, like if he's the number one running back, then he's gonna ask for $12 million or something. But if he says, hey, you know what, I'm willing to come back at $8 million, or do you think that's right?
I think
For
they need to sit down and come to terms and figure out what's going to work, and then if there's not going to be a solution to where it makes both sides happy, then obviously shake hands and split ways. But I mean, if eh, they've got to look at what's best for the Raiders, what's good for Josh.
absolutely,
You know, they
absolutely.
got to meet in the middle.
okay,
No,
so fuck Josh. Who's your free agent? We got to bring back.
I like Jenkins.
you know what?
He's a big
I like
boy.
Jenkins. I like Jenkins. Okay. Hey, so I'm gonna piggyback off of Val on that. Okay, because my top three free agents that I'm gonna bring back, okay, that are on the Raiders, is I would like to see John Jenkins come back because I believe that we can get him back at a discount, and he had a good year. Okay. He's an older guy, but it gives us that thickness in the middle. Okay. I would like to see Bilal Nichols come back. Okay. Because again, I agree with what Matty B said. Hey, you know what? That's homegrown talent that we can take care of, and people are going to say, hey, you know what? These guys take care of their guys. These guys give them contracts. These guys do this to take care of their team, right? And I think the third piece of this, okay, is us coming to terms with JJ and saying, hey, you know what? Let's sit down at the table because I'm going to tell you like this right now. He feels slighted, you know. Hey, I know he's going to, but if I'm AP, I'm sitting across from him and I'm being honest with him. And I'm telling him, hey, I already told you guys, I don't think we can pay you $12 million a year. But I think, like, you know what? Let me pay you this much this first year or two, and then let me give you big money on the back end. Where we kick you up some cash on the back end. So those three guys I think are crucial for us to bring back. One, because I think it's just like you guys have said. Antonio Pierce has his way of running things. He has an attitude. We have a way about us, and those guys encompass what it is to have that attitude. That's my top three. Now, what do you guys think about that list?
Yeah, I
That's
could
a
agree.
good list. I think losing out on Amik would be a problem
See, and
because
that brings
be,
me. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
yeah, I say we are. I mean, we're already short in the secondary, so I think losing guys in the secondary that just got done excelling the previous season would be a mistake.
Exactly, and I think it goes all back to homegrown talent, man. When's the last time that we've had players that we've drafted play for us, come back on their contract year, sign another contract with us, and continue to play for us, minus a punter and a kicker? You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
Think about it. You know what I mean? If we can keep our homegrown, and think about this too. We've had homegrown talent. Jared Beldier, he went on to have a good career.
Yeah.
We had Justin Houston. He went on to have a good career. We've had linebackers, plenty of them that have gone and left and had good careers. We let our homegrown talent go. We draft these players, we build them up, they have a good year, and then we let them walk in free agency. So I think, and it all goes back to, bringing a Meek back, homegrown talent. Bring Belai back, homegrown talent. Those guys, they know the Raider way. That's all they know.
Did we draft Nichols?
I thought we did. I thought we drafted Belai Nichols. Maybe we're wrong.
Can't
Maybe I'm
remember.
wrong on that. Maybe I am wrong. Hold on.
I can't remember. I'm just asking for my own knowledge. But part of that problem, Matt, with homegrown talent is we haven't drafted very well, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, who's left from John Gruden? Renfro, Jacobs, and Max. And Renfro's on his way out the door. Who knows if Josh will be back?
Yeah. So
Right.
I
So
was wrong.
homegrown.
I'm sorry, guys. I fucked up. He came from the Bears. He was drafted by the Bears.
but he came
Okay.
over
But young. He came over young, yeah. So he was only 27 years old. So and we've had him for 2 years, so that means he's only been in the league for maybe a year on a practice squad with the Bears.
He's 27?
27, yeah.
Man, he's been in the league probably at least 4 years, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's probably been, he's had 2 years with us, and then he was with the Bears prior to that. So he was either on a practice squad in his first year,
or
maybe
just cutting his
Yeah,
teeth.
maybe.
getting into his second year with him when we picked him up. So
I think you nailed part of it, Matt. Is I think we need to figure out how to draft and develop this homegrown talent, right?
mm-hmm.
And that's where we start building a team. Like, we have a lot of great pieces, but we got to start building depth by the draft.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. So, and then when we talk about Meek, right? Let's talk about it, okay? Meek is young. He made $970,000 or $900,000 this year. Okay. What type? So this is where, hey, if you bring a Janarius Meek, if you bring a guy like that, is Meek still starting?
I don't think you have Meek if you bring in Ladarius Sneed because you're spending too much money on that guy. You're going to bring in somebody cheaper than that because Meek's going to want a contract. He's
but Amik's not due for Sneed, Alexander.
Yeah, no, that's not a
Howard.
He's not
contract.
good for that money, but he's going to want something in the ballpark of,
Dude,
let's
he's
see,
gonna want some
20
money.
million is what they're saying right now. So we'll say just at
For
not
a
saying
Meek?
it's going to go up, but for the average base salary for a corner is 20.
No, that was a top dog salary. That's what you just got tagged.
Going top dog salary, he's not getting that. He's getting somewhere in between like maybe 15.
No, there's no fucking if that's what he's asking, fucking thanks, man. It's been great. Have a fucking see you later.
So, hey, so
what would you say then? How much would you bring him back on it?
Dude, I mean, this was really like his first solid year, right? And coming into this year, I remember sitting at the stands here at AT&T for the last preseason game, and I'm like, fuck, dude, Amik's got to be on the fence, right? Because this dude played the entire fucking third preseason game. So in my eyes, that dude was like fucking on the fence of being cut, and he played well. And then obviously it turned into a good year, man. He's in the maybe $5 to $10 million range. That dude is not a top dog corner yet.
No, and you know what? I can see that. I can see what he's saying about 5 to 10. Now, here's the thing. Even at 5 to 10 million, right? If you look at that salary cap hit, that's about 10% of our salary cap right now. If we got $50 million, that puts us down to 45 million, right? So if you look at that and you say, hey, is he that type of player? Is Meek worth 10% of your salary cap?
I think he's worth 10% for another 1 to 2 years to see where he develops, right? If he continues to go up. I mean, it's got to be a smart contract where, hey, maybe there's a team option after one. Like, hey, dude, you fucking blew a load this year. You're fucking out of here.
Yeah.
I can't see letting him walk, right? He had a lot of success in PG's system this year. I just can't see letting him walk.
I don't see him walking either. I just don't know what he's going to ask.
Right. He's not top dog. We all know that and agree on that, right? So, who would you compare him to in the league, corner wise?
Amik? Oh man.
Right? Like, who's a solid number 2 corner?
Can I ask you this question? Okay, let me ask you this: is he a starting corner on any other team?
I think he has potential to be.
Yeah, I think he could definitely start elsewhere. But my other thing too is, like, we always talk about dudes who are system guys, right? So is he a system guy in PG's system?
True.
Right, because he had flashes, right, in the previous system, but he also had injury problems.
Yeah. No.
I don't know, man. I think he can. Yeah, like Matt said, I think he could definitely potentially start elsewhere. But the big question is he a system guy, and is he going to continue to progress?
Yeah, he progressed every year. It's just like you just said it. It's his health, like he's been injured a couple times, and I think that's what's dropped him on the depth chart a lot. Because we've had to bring in free agents to replace him. And then we had what's his name, fucking dude that just got arrested, Arnett. So we had both those dudes on the team, and neither one of them.
That's a homegrown talent, brother. And we drafted him
right there. Shoot,
we drafted him.
They're gonna be sellies here soon.
Nah, he's in Texas, so he's done.
Yeah, Texas will get him, just with the meth charges.
Fuck yeah, they will.
Yeah.
The gun charge, meth, you're fucked.
Yeah. Get your guns back in 2 years.
Texas will take away your guns for 5 minutes and then give them back and then be like,
yeah.
Right? Like if you're
hey homie, we're gonna hold these till you get out. But that meth deal, that's a big deal.
Yeah. They don't fuck around with those down there.
Out.
Damon Arnett.
Oh.
Yeah, Damon Arnett.
Yeah. But all right, guys. Hey, so we talked about the free agents we would bring back. We've debated, contract. We said, hey, this guy, that guy. Yeah. But let's get into the last part of the show. Let's move on to this next section. Right now, we're sitting at 13. At 13, people keep saying the Raiders are not going to be able to pick up their quarterback of the future. Okay? We have to move into the top 3. And if we move into the top 3, who are you making that move for? Okay? Because obviously somebody fell to the board from the top 2 down to that 3 spot that you really like. That you say, hey, you know what? I'm willing to spend this much to get. So, Matty B, I'm the New England Patriots. Call me up.
No, I think one way or another, I think the Raiders are really going to try hard and make something happen. And go up a few spots definitely to get our quarterback. I mean, because you got to look at the coaching that we got now too, and it's different from previous year.
Yeah. No, and that's what we're saying. Hey, AP has come out and said we're going to be aggressive. You don't know.
Never say never.
Yeah, never say never. And people were like, oh, Telesco won't move up. But this is where we're looking at it, and we can say, hey, this is the move. This is the play. This is what you're going to do if you move to number 3. Okay? So, again, what do you trade, though? What do you give up? What are you willing to give up for the number 3 draft pick today?
So I think some of the things that I've seen, like the trade options and shit for that pick, was this year's first, obviously, swap.
Okay.
And then your second.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not sure if there was a third this year. I don't think there was. I think it was this year's first and second. And then I think it was next year's first and second. And then the following year's second. I think that was the pick. I think that was the trade that I seen for moving up to 3.
Okay.
So you would give up pretty much this year's second, and then next year's first and second.
Yep.
And then another second in the following year. So,
yep.
I mean, like you said, like you've been saying, if that's the dude you're gonna want and you're going to get him, I mean, would you take that? Is that
I mean, like,
the New England Patriots? Are you taking that off?
I mean, like,
Okay, so say they take it. Who's your guy?
who's your guy?
Who's my guy? Well, like you said, I'm going after Jaden Daniels.
Because
the first two picks are gonna be Caleb Williams. No, maybe, I don't know. That's a good question.
So
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Here's my whole counter to the whole number 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's rumored Washington likes Jaden, right? So in my opinion, to go to 3, and I said a few weeks ago it was going to take similar to what San Francisco went from 12 to 3 with who was it? Miami?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's going to be a similar deal, and I think you pretty much nailed that deal, right? But here's the thing. Going to 3 doesn't guarantee you're going to get your guy.
Exactly, it doesn't. But that's why.
So now you have to like or love a minimum of 2 of those guys, right? Because 2 of them are going to be gone.
Right.
Right. So we know it's probably going to be Caleb. So it's either going to be Drake or Jaden.
Right.
So
the only reason I would say, like, the Bears, don't be surprised if those dudes fucking keep Justin Fields and draft number 1 and go with wide.
It's not a bad move.
They don't even have to do it at number 1. They could, maybe they'd probably have to get Marvin Lewis.
Oh, to get Marvin Harrison, you got to draft him at
number 1. You're not going to get him at 9, so you would have to get him at number 1. Which that would shake up everything when it came down to that if you moved up to 3, because then you would at least be guaranteed one of those top 2 guys.
Right.
You know what
I mean? One of the top. Yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
So here's a crazy thing I've seen about Justin Fields today, right? They put his last 20 games and Lamar Jackson's last 20 games next to each other. And Justin had like 3 more picks. Touchdowns were damn near identical. Yardage was almost identical. I mean, they were within yards and touchdowns and interceptions of each other. It was kind of a crazy stat to see, man.
No shit.
I wouldn't be surprised if they kept Fields.
Right? Because, I mean, fuck, you keep Fields. You keep
your Marvin Harrison.
You could even fucking trade that number 9 pick and still fucking rake in a fucking good load on that fucking pick.
In my opinion, you could even trade hell, maybe somebody at 5 wants to move up. I mean, you could, as long as you get stay ahead of Arizona, you could still get Marvin Harrison Jr., I think.
Right. I think so. I think you're right on that.
So, okay, Jaden Daniels is your guy, right?
I think Jaden Daniels is everybody's guy, honestly.
Okay. Now, let's see. All in. What's your offer? Are you doing the same offer as Matt? And who's your guy?
I mean, if we're going to three, right? I like I said just a minute ago, I've been saying it's going to have to be similar. 13-3 and 12-3 is what San Francisco went for Trey Lance, right? So it's going to be similar to that deal, maybe a little more because we're 4 years down the road. But then that doesn't guarantee you that that's your guy. Right? So
Yeah.
you're moving up to three. You got to love one of the top three guys on the board. Two of the top three. I'm sorry. You got to love two of the top three, whether that be Caleb and Jaden, Drake and Jaden, Caleb and Drake. You don't know who's going to be there when you get there. So you got to be okay with it not being your number one guy and it being your number two guy.
So I think it would almost actually come down to if you made that trade, what the Bears do with the number one trade when it comes to draft day.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you would even make that trade during the off season, or before draft day, like to move up to number 3. Because I think you would have to almost wait to see what the Bears did. I think
you're going to know what the Bears do early.
Yeah, and I honestly, in my opinion, I don't think we move up to number 1 because that's just way too much draft capital and we have too many holes to fill. And I think our guys are smart enough not to do that. But I mean, hey, never say never, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, I don't think we do. So I think if we trade up to number 3, it's going to have to be determined on what the Bears do at number 1. Now, if the Bears take a quarterback at number 1, I could see the Raiders trading with the Bears to get Justin Fields. Then all you're losing is maybe a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
his stock, they're saying his stock is up, man. It's going to be a minimum of a 2nd, but they're talking it's possibly getting to a 1st-round pick now.
You know what? I could go with the 2nd, and the only reason I'm saying I wouldn't go any higher than a 2nd is because, yeah, you might have some decent stats, but you still haven't had anything close to what
a first round
draft pick should be getting, or what I'm trading for a 1st-round draft pick. But yeah, I don't think we go up and move to number 1 because it's just too much draft capital. So I think you would have to almost wait and see. Now, if another quarterback needy team like the Broncos jump up to number 1, they have somebody in mind for quarterback. So now you have to decide, am I trading the number 3?
I mean, like if the Broncos trade up to number 1, everybody knows. I'd be like, if the Broncos trade up to 1.
Well, not even the Broncos, just somebody ahead of us that has to have a quarterback. You know what I mean? So if somebody was to jump up, they're going for the quarterback. So now you're not getting past Washington. They're not going to trade out to go to 13 to fucking miss out on their quarterback. Mm-hmm. So they're going to draft one of the top 2 quarterbacks, and it all depends on what.
So you said your one guy is Jaden Daniels. Who's your 1A?
My 1A would be Caleb Williams if he's still there.
Okay. All in.
And like I said, that depends on how the draft falls if the Bears don't go quarterback.
Yeah. All in. Who's your 1? If you're making the move, who's your 1?
I'm still, man, I've been rolling with Jaden since we started this gig, and I'm staying with it.
Okay.
However,
1A.
Man, I'm gonna keep them bundled, right? You getting a bundle discount. It's either Caleb or Drake, right? Everybody says you can't go wrong with either one of those guys. They can't miss. At 3, in my opinion, you're gonna have to take what's left. If you want Jaden, man, and the only reason I believe they're seriously considering it with the AP saying the never say never, man, I think there's some serious fucking talking going on with inside those front offices, man. I really think you might see us go to 1.
I'd be like, there's a lot of conversation just like this, talking about what we're willing to give up, what we're not willing to give up, where the holes are, stuff like that. Now, do you have a quarterback that you think is going to be that you would see the Raiders fitting at number 3? Are you on the Jaden Daniels train too? Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, to tell you the truth, you might even have to have 3 top quarterbacks if you're moving up to 3. Because if you're not moving up to 1 to get your guy, to be guaranteed your guy, and say the Bears do draft a quarterback and they don't trade Fields, they keep both of them on their roster. Just take this for instance. They keep both those guys because they don't have to trade Fields. They don't. They could trade him next year. They could still draft Caleb Williams this year.
Yeah,
that's a cap hit though. That's not going to happen, man.
Yeah, and like I said, it just if this was a scenario,
okay,
and say they draft a quarterback, You
Okay.
know, the next guy going off the board would be, say they draft Caleb Williams, next guy off the board is going to be Jaden Daniels.
Mhm.
You know, because if Washington loves him the way they like him, you know, they're probably going to draft him.
Okay.
So you would almost have to have a third quarterback in that scenario. So you
That
would
would be
have
the top three, right? Drake, May.
you would have to be you would have to have more than two if you're moving up to three. You know what I mean? Because you
It's like you guys are saying right now. I 100% agree. If you have the conviction to say like, this is my guy, then you have to make the move for where you think that guy's going to be. Unless you have the number one pick, you have no say of where the guy's going to go. Okay. So what I look at is this, and I'm going to I'm a little bit against the grain on this. My guy, if we move up to number 3, is actually Drake May. Okay. I feel he's more pro ready than Jaden Daniels. I mean, like, I had to go back and watch a lot of his college game, okay? He doesn't have this hyper athleticism, okay? Do you guys remember RG3? Remember that year when RG3 came out? Who was the other quarterback that came out with RG3?
Kirk Cousins.
Andrew Luck.
Andrew
No,
Luck.
Oh,
Andrew
yeah,
Luck.
Andrew Luck. I thought you were talking
Well,
about
Cousins got drafted late in that same draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the quarterback behind him.
No, but it was always 1A and 1B. One guy that was super hyper athletic that used his speed, big cannon, big arm, get downfield. And I mean, like, RG3 had a burning of a comet career, because the dude burns bright
and then burned out.
then burned out.
Injuries will do that.
Yeah. So what I see is this. Okay, I love the body. I love the kid. I think he's a great athlete, but he's an athlete playing quarterback. Okay, and athletes that play quarterback depend a lot on their body, depend a lot on what they can do. And after you get hit so many times, and you have to adapt your game style, a lot of them can't do it. And it's okay. That's their style of play, right? I feel Drake May doesn't have that hyper athleticism that he depends on. Depends a lot on intellect. He depends a lot on reading the field, on anticipating things. And that, for me, is a game changer. Because you're not like, hey, look at Brock Purdy. Not the fastest guy. Not the biggest arm. But he moves the chains. He makes smart decisions. He sees the field. You feel me? So, hey.
Well, he uses his legs when he has to. That's my biggest complaint with AOC, right? Is the dude just doesn't use his legs when he has to.
Right. And I think he's like that all the way
I
through.
like AOC, and if he would just use his legs, man, I think they might be more willing to ride with AOC.
Right. And I don't think he did much with his legs in college either, right?
He didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't, and that's why I've said for weeks that's you don't develop that, right? Once you get to the pros, like I've been saying, you don't develop that. So what you see is what you get with AOC, and you can go back to 4 or 5 years of college, and you're going to get the same thing.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He's a good quarterback, right?
I think he's I think he's a solid backup, and I've been saying that since he came out. Like, he's a solid backup. He's never, and I've always rolled with that. You know, like he's not the starter. Now, if you give him that full off season, who knows, man? You might never know. This dude might come out and be the fucking number 1 quarterback in the league next year.
Absolutely.
But you got to use your legs.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking that chance.
This ain't a passing fucking league anymore. You're not gonna be able to do it.
Well, I think we've seen 2 types of quarterbacks: the guys that extend the plays, a la Aaron Rodgers, and the guys that extend their plays like Lamar Jackson. So it'll be interesting to see. But all right, guys.
I don't think real quick. I don't think people give Daniels enough credit for his arm. The dude threw for 10,000 yards in college.
Oh no, he got a cannon of an arm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The dude could play the position.
Right.
And I think a lot of people that hate on him and don't see him as a top 3 guy don't really understand what he did in college.
So to like almost put him in perspective with another quarterback is he almost reminds me of Tua. The body build, the height, not very big dude, but he's got the arm accuracy. You know what I mean? And he's got the big arm.
But Jaden Daniels is 6'4".
I mean,
Yeah, so
he's skinny though. He's not. He don't have.
no, but hey, check it out. And I did this on a few episodes ago. We'll have to go back, but weight and height, he's right there. For the last 2 years, they are all within an inch and 10 pounds of each other, and he was right there, right in the middle of all of them.
Maybe
right,
maybe he just looks skinnier in his uniform than most people.
Yeah,
he looks
he's
small.
right there with the top 5 prospects this year and the top 5 quarterbacks taken last year.
Wow,
he's right in the middle of that mix, height and weight.
So then he's not real. Yeah, okay, then I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, he does catch a lot of shit. A lot of people do say he's small. I don't know. I think the kid is. I think he can be a solid. I mean, and they're all a gamble, right? Caleb Williams can come out and be a fucking complete bust. So can Drake. So can Jaden. So can Bo.
Big is
JJ.
Justin Fields? He's not a very big dude, is he?
I don't know.
I think he is
about the same.
He's about the same. He's bigger. Yeah, and he's thicker than.
I don't know if he's even 6'4", man. He's like you can look it
6'2",
up real quick.
6'3".
Is he that tall? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was drafted, 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while since he was drafted.
3-4 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wrap it up, guys. We're going to have to wrap it up. Yo, please click like, subscribe, share, hit us up. Let us know what's going on. What's your thoughts, guys? Hey, it's all from the TBH family here. It's all from the Silver and Black Radio Podcast family. It's all about one nation, one team. It's all about the Raiders.
Raiders.
Fuck your team, bitch.